So this will be my 4th year running an online summer reading program for Marin County Free Library, and so I want to talk about tips and tricks that you can use for any online summer reading program. Matthew will be talking about free programs. We actually use eVanced, but whether you use a paid-for program or a free program, these are universal tricks that you should be able to use. Go ahead. So we'll go over planning first, and that's me. So I already kind of talked about organizing, but I'll talk a little bit more about that. I run a working group, not a committee, that meets 2 to 3 times a year to talk about summer reading or the online program. It consists of someone from each committee chair, adult, teen, and children. And we start planning as soon as we launch our current summer reading. So one of our assignments is to look at one of our assignments is to evaluate how other libraries are using summer reading programs while they're active during the summer reading season. So we spend 1 to 2 hours in June, July, and August looking at all the summer reading programs throughout the country, how they're using online resources, and then we meet in the fall and we talk about what we've learned from this year and then what we want to do next year. And one of the things that we end the meeting with is the eVanced Summer Reading Rollout Plan. And so this is one universal document that all 3 committees use that outlines exactly how we're going to execute the program over the course of the next year. And which leads to the next part, which is planning. I start putting the program together and building the new sites in January. I meet with each committee twice, once in January and once in February, to gather their content from them. And then I show them the finished product, get any tweaks from them. And then we send it out for translation. We translate everything into Spanish. And then we start our testing program. For the planning portion of it, I actually have a draft document here of what we're going to be using. I did one of these to each committee member, and this is how we track all the changes, how they're going to set up the registration forms, whether they're going to be raffles, whether they're going to be review-based, whether it's going to be how many hours they use. And we use one document for each committee to track all those changes. They also tell me what kind of content they're going to have, what websites they want on the program, what reading lists they want on the program. All those things are tracked here. And so it's one document we use each way throughout the system. Once the program has been finalized and the Spanish translation is complete, we start the testing portion of the program. So I create a testing checklist that is released to all library staff, but this is where the working group comes in again, and they're all committed to spending 1 to 2 hours that month going through the testing checklist and making sure that everything works. At this time, we are not making any changes to content. Because it's been translated, we don't want to go back and have to make a lot of changes throughout the whole program. We just make changes to things that aren't working and any grammar or spelling changes. So this allows us to make sure everybody has a feel for how the program's going to work this year, especially any changes that have happened over the last year. And this takes place during the month of April. Once we've concluded training, we start training. I have instructions that are made and created based on the final testing results, and then I release the instructions to all staff. This happens in May so that we can have a chance to go around to all the committees, all the branches, do any training that needs to be done. And that's all handled by my department, which is me. And electronic services. Since it's our 4th year, it's really diminished, but the first few years we really had a lot of need for training. Once the training is complete, then the program is ready so you can take it out and do demonstrations at school libraries, assemblies. You can train it, show it to parents and teachers as what's coming for summer reading. And it's available, it's been tested. You can add your own test content during this process, and then before we go live, I wipe everything off so that then you as a staff member aren't winning raffles or counting towards statistics. And if you do any testing once we're live, then I ask you to wipe it yourself. So tips and tricks. We do a survey every year. We launch it in July. We also, in Spanish and English. We also add buttons to our web packs so that patrons can come in and they don't have to use their internet time, their precious, sweet internet time, to register themselves. They can do it. They can also post reviews that way, so they can just come up and pound them out. It also allows them to do summer reading on the go while they're traveling over the summer. We also make sure it's on all of our online websites. So it's posted to all of our social media as well. And our social media is posted on the site itself, so you can follow us on Twitter, check our Facebook, link to our YouTube videos from the online summer reading site, and also back to it from those sources. We use Overdrive. Oh, my time's up. We use Overdrive so you can actually make custom book lists and then send them to Overdrive and they'll post them, so you can have Dream Big, Own the Night, etc. And with that, I'll take it away to Matthew.
Hi, my name is Matthew. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda briefly talked about some of the software that libraries can buy. She mentioned Events. There's also Event Keeper and a few other ones on the slides that you can look at. I'm going to talk about the free online summer options. These are workarounds that you can use for free. They include Facebook, Goodreads, and Twitter, and there are many others. These are just a few that I'm going to touch on. These, I'm not an expert in any of these, so I'm just going to talk about how I understand them to work, and I'm sure all of you will be going, that is not the way it works, because you'll know how to do it better. However, I have the stage. With Facebook, you log into your personal account, click on, from the news feed, you can click on the groups link on the left side, and then click on the create a group link that appears, and use that to create an online summer reading group. Here is a picture of that link, as well as the group as it appears. I chose a chess piece because I play chess. And here is a picture of a review that you can post. With this, you can get people adding books to or book reviews to the group. You can have comments on that, and you make an online summer reading program there. The limitations of Facebook include you can't create groups from a page. So my library, the Acton Iowa State Library, has a Facebook page. Please get out your phones at this moment and like me. My library needs your likes. I need it. As you liked my library, you noticed that there was not a group option on that entities page. It has to be a personal page. So that's one drawback. Another one is if your community or your library is ad sensitive, there are ads on Facebook, and you must have Facebook's accounts, and your users must have Facebook accounts. There's a recent statistic, I'm not sure if it's the most accurate, that says 1 out of 9 people on the planet have a Facebook account. That is amazing, right? 1 out of 9 on the planet. That means that 8 out of 9 on the planet don't have a Facebook account. It was simple math. It was 1 from 9. Don't be surprised. I'm not making this stuff up. The Goodreads group might be a better option for your library because Goodreads is book focused. It's easier to promote your social networking to your library or to your concerned patrons with a focus on books. Same process to sign up. You click on the groups link and then create your group. You fill in the pertinent information and you've launched your group. Wait. With Goodreads, you can also do events and have an events reminders. You can do discussions and have a lot more options than with Facebook, a little bit more flexibility. You still have ads as well as you have to have a membership with Goodreads. They're free to sign up. For Twitter, how many have posted a Twitter book review before? I'm expecting a lot more hands because I have not either. And here I am, the expert now. The Twitter book review has a 140 character limit. To make it a collaborative summer reading program online, include a hashtag. So you'll be promoting your hashtag in your library, and then you can have a hashtag wall on your webpage to demonstrate everything that has that hashtag. So you can include a quick book review and have that be a collaboration. Same problems as with Facebook and with Goodreads. And there's some other options that you have that you can use in the same effort to have less, or there's more options for social networking, not just the few that I've talked about. The key to success is responsiveness in your online endeavors, you don't want to have a Google Plus cobwebbed, empty non-space. You want to make sure it is active. If your users aren't posting reviews, have your staff post reviews. And Lori will talk about social networking promotion, not just for your online summer reading program, but with your entire library.
All right, so we know it's the beginning of the conference because when the QR code went up, I didn't hear any audible sighs. We're going to get a lot of QR codes over the next few days. I've read the catalog. So QR codes are quick response codes, and these help with outreach to underserved populations, those with smartphones. I'm only partly kidding. This could be helpful in reaching out to people in that 20s and 30s age range. Include QR codes on some of your traditional flyers that link to the sign up page, or do what we're going to do. We're going to try this summer at Sacramento and create a card just full of QR codes linking to the catalog, to our book list, and each of these has a task associated with it. So once you finish, they go to the final one and complete themselves with the game. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, another thing, and this falls under the and stuff category, because how many of you have Pinterest accounts? All right, good number of hands. Find one another on Pinterest and share ideas, because I'm sure you're lacking for ideas after today and after reading your giant Dream Big workbook. But for those of you who aren't familiar with Pinterest, it is an online photo sharing board where you can post, if you're a librarian, you can post things like programming ideas, or if you're just into stuff, you can post stuff. But it's kind of design focused, so there are a lot of style photos, and there are a lot of librarians out there. So if you do a search for library, you'll find tons of other librarians posting ideas. If you search for library program ideas, you'll get a lot of sites. And I started noticing about halfway through last year's summer reading all the tips on how to eviscerate highlighters coming up. So a lot of highlighters are going to die, a lot of glow sticks are going to be taken apart. It's going to be a good summer. Good for the makers of highlighters and glow sticks too. So that's something to look for. There are some boards, some collaborative boards that are just for teen programming ideas or for early childhood ideas. Now, I've noticed a few libraries have their own Pinterest sites. Unfortunately, the use of Pinterest is not so large that I think you can promote your programs there. I'm trying. Our library only has about 30 followers at the moment. But I think as it picks up, and of course, if we started cross-promoting on our Facebook, we'd probably get a lot more hits. But I can post the programming ideas, all the how-tos of the crafts that we're making. So. Another thing for creating a community of readers would be to create a community of readers on Meetup. We do this with our 20s and 30s programming at Sacramento. We have the Alt Library Meetup group. It has a few advantages over traditional flyers. It's quite cheap. It's $72 for a 6-month membership. And at the moment we have 300 members of the group. It fluctuates a little. People drop off. It might be $296. But we can send out direct, advertisements of our programs for that group to that group once a week. I try not to take it too far into spam, but I have used the group to recruit for volunteer opportunities, and I plan to try to take over one of our friends group and have a 20s and 30s friends group. So if we're doing more summer reading things on Meetup, it's a place where you can post reviews. That'll be on our game piece, and just have this community online. And that's what I've got. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.